Well, it's November 2nd, 2020. Darcy's Corner. The American election hasn't happened yet, but it's underway, and things are looking pretty crazy over there right now. Whatever happens, it's going to be nuts. Uh, that strange sound was my dog hiccuping. She does that sometimes. Anyway, this is going to be a bit of a ramble, so 50-50 if I even put it up. But when I say that, usually that encourages me to put it up, so we'll see what happens. Anyway, Darcy's Corner. I've been reflecting a lot lately on some of my choices in the past and some of the things I'm doing now, and I'm watching. I've just finished watching I Am Woman with Hellen Reddy, and maybe I misinterpreted, but it looked to me like about 3/4 of the way through, she has a nanny who's transgender. I'm like, huh? I wonder if that part of the movie is true. And I've been trying to check on biographies and stuff, and nothing says for sure, so I don't really know. But it sure looked like she had a transgender nanny for her kids, which is marvelous. And of course, she was always a progressive-minded woman, so the fact that she would do that, it definitely seems in character. Anyway, whether it's true or not, or just part of the movie, I don't know. Anyway, I'm watching her on YouTube, her and Rosie O'Donnell, when Rosie was much younger than she is now. So was Helen. So was I. I was just a wet behind the ears kid when this was being recorded. Hellen Reddy and Rosie O'Donnell singing a duet. And I'm just reflecting lately on my choice of media, and it's been throughout my life really, and it's just, I don't know why this sticks with me, but because I often wonder, like, I didn't express my transness from the age of 10 right up to the age of 30, right? So what happened in between? Like, where did she go? And, or if she didn't go anywhere, how did she express herself? That is to say, how did I express my feminine self, right? And the way that I think that I did that, express my feminine self, I often refer to myself in the third person. I think of a neutral me, a masculine me, and a feminine me. And neutral me is just watching the show. And masculine or feminine kind of takes over on any given day. And I don't really necessarily control which days those are. I don't know why some days are more one than the other. But anyway, from 10 to 30, I had put that part of myself away. So I've just been reflecting, well, this doesn't really go away. It moves, and it becomes manageable sometimes, and sometimes you can hide it for a while from yourself even. But it doesn't really go away. So where did she come out during those 20 years? Well, I loved Planet of the Cave Bear books. I lived vicariously through Ayla. For many, many years, I would just reread the books over and over and over again. And it's this wonderful, empowered woman who, like, overcomes toxic masculinity and being an outcast, and, you know, she has really intense emotions and really honed skills because she has to survive. And anyway, that's the Planet of the Cave Bear Earth's Children series. But I read a lot of that, and then I'd watch a lot of movies, but, like, sometimes I just want to watch stuff blow up, I want to watch guns and half naked women on boats or whatever the frick the thing is. The typical um, masculine movie experience, I guess, is kind of what I'm after lots of times. Big explosions. Sci-fi's good. I never liked horror. Horror flicks were never something I enjoyed. But another type of movie that I liked, but I didn't necessarily like it in theaters, just because it was more money. And anyway, I liked the rom-coms and the, like, Titanic. I've probably seen 2 or 3 times. We had a dollar theater then, so it was cheaper to go to the movies than it was to rent the movie. But anyway, I liked the Titanic, but I also liked anything with Drew Barrymore in it. Pretty much, her goofy, the Never Been Kissed, and the other one, Happily Ever After. They're very, they have very similar chick vibes to them, because you're always looking at it from the perspective of the female protagonist, and she's empowered by the situation somehow because she's a better person. And I always loved those types of media, and I didn't understand why I liked them as much as I did. I didn't know why I liked books that had female characters as the central protagonist. I mean, I liked action adventure books that had the male as a protagonist too, but and John Delore was no slouch in those books. And if you've read them, you know what I'm talking about. If you haven't, don't worry about it. But John Delore was Ayla's boyfriend. But yeah, like, mostly I would get in touch with my feminine side by watching those types of flicks. Hold on a second. Sorry about that. I'm ADHD, and every once in a while the thought will be almost there and I can't quite think of how to put it into words. So I have to stop for a second and really think about my messaging, which is what happened in that little glitch there. Is I just stopped for a second to think, what am I trying to say and how am I really feeling? So I'm sitting here and I'm watching Hellen Reddy and I'm watching Rosie O'Donnell, and I start to tear up. I'm like gonna cry, and I'm going, why am I gonna cry? I'm not really that sad, but I'm thinking about the ground that those women broke for me. Right? They both moved the ball forward for women everywhere, and including especially the rainbow community. So, like, I am standing on their shoulders, and that makes me proud, grateful. It gets me in the feels, I guess you could say. This this whole transition thing, it really does a number on your emotions. And I don't know, I guess I'm enjoying the ride mostly, but it does take you some weird places. You're like, I didn't think I'd feel that intensely about that. I didn't even think I cared. But I did. And I do. And I'm grateful. And I just wanted to share that with the world, I guess. Will this help anybody? I don't know. I hope so. I think Hellen Reddy was an amazing woman. Pete's Dragon was like in my top 5 favorites for movies as a child, for sure. Yeah, Peace Dragon and Mary Poppins. And Bedknobs and Broomsticks. Yeah. All of which have strong female lead characters. Anyway, just thought I'd share that's where I think Darci was coming out during those years, between 8 or for 10 and then 30. She was coming out through my love of people like Rosie O'Donnell. And not that I was like in love with Rosie O'Donnell, but I loved what she did. And I loved who she was. And who she still is. She's still around, of course. But yeah, I loved Hellen Reddy. And I didn't even know why. I didn't even know who she was until I saw the movie. Like, oh, that's who that was. That's amazing. You know, if nothing else during this pandemic, I am learning stuff about our history more recently, in the 70s on up. It's a crazy world we live in. Anyway, I'm glad that I had the benefit of it today. So I'm going to cut this off now. And, yeah. See y'all later.